Hi, this is the Magic Mirror Kit, and I'm going to show you how to assemble this. But before we do so, let's make sure we have all the parts. So the most important part, of course, is the board right here. Then you need your Arduino or Arduino cloned. In this case, this is a Seeduino. Then you need 7 of these guys. I'll talk about what these goes a little bit later. One 40-pin header pin, 2 6-position screw terminals, 1 DB9 connector, 2 Cat5 connectors, 5 10K resistors, and 4 220 ohm resistors, 1 slide switch, 1 potentiometer. This is used to change the character. So if we've got all our parts, oh, and last but not least, 1 power connector. If we've got all of our parts, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solder these connectors here. So there's 7 of them total, and just look at the picture and set them in for a total of 7. Now the problem is, if I flip this board over, because I need to solder on this side, that all my things are going to come out. So what do? So some people use putty. I don't have any putty on me. That's probably easier, but what I've been doing, since I have some, is just getting just some tape. In this case, this is just painter's tape. So these ones, you know, it's nice if you see how they kind of move around a little bit, so you want to be careful, make sure they're nice and straight, and just take your tape and just secure them. You also want to make sure they're flat, they're flush as well. Alright, so I've got it taped down the way I want it. Looks like they're all straight. So then I'm just going to flip the board over and put it on my vise here. Let's tighten this up. So we got this all squared away. The next thing we can do is the resistors. So let's just set this aside for the moment. And you're going to have 5 10K resistors and 4 220 ohm resistors. And what you can do is just bend them with your round nose pliers. It makes a nice, perfect bend. And again, if you don't have these, you can bend them by hand. It's just a little easier to do it with these pliers. Okay, I've made all my bends, so I should have 9 total. You can see over here it says 220, and over here it says 10K. So there's 5 of these that say 10K and 4 that say 220. So just make sure you, of course, plug them into the right one. So let's start with the 10Ks, which are on my right over here, and we'll just pop them in. Now, resistors aren't polarized, so it doesn't matter which way you plug them in. They'll work either way. But what I like to do, and what I recommend, just as a little bit of a cleaner look, is orientate the color bands on the resistors all the same way. That way it just looks a little cleaner. So I put that one in the wrong way, so let's flip it around. Okay. And just kind of press them in so they're nice and secure. If you have it, just hold it like this, flip it over, and then you can just bend these to the side, and that way they won't come undone. So bend them to the side, and now they're still in there. You know, it's probably good enough, but what I like to do just to be totally safe is just put some more tape on there. That way they're nice and firm. So we'll just take this guy again and do the same thing. Alright, looks pretty good. Let's take a quick look, make sure you're okay, and then flip it over, and there we have our resistors. So we're almost halfway done. Almost, not quite. Okay, so the next thing we can do is we can do the slide switch, which is going to go here. Just pop it on. And we can also do the power out. Now this one you got to be very careful. The reason I say that is depending on the connector you have. So here's the power connector. See, it's slotted, so it only goes in one way. Plug it in, and when you plug it in the board, it's extremely important. See, I just screwed up there and put it the wrong way. And it's polarized. So look very closely, and you see where here, let's see, yeah, there we go. 5 volts on the bottom, flip it over, 5 volts and ground. So when you put this on, you want to make sure that the 5 volts is where the red wire is. So see, the red wire is on the bottom, the 5 volts is on the bottom, the black wire is on the top, the ground is on the top. That is very, very important because it's polarized, and it will not work if you screw that up. So let's put it back, and I can unplug this, make sure I got my polarity right, and that's how it should look. Okay, so I got those guys taped down. See, these leads are a little bit longer on the slide switches, so I'm gonna probably want to clip those off. Just make sure that we didn't screw up the polarity on that power connector. So I'm going to take my connector, and it can only go in one way because it's slotted. Plug it in, and just make sure that the red is on the side of the 5 volts, the black is on the side of the ground. So it looks like we're okay. Got my slide switch here. This is actually what changes the character if you want to change it from the internal potentiometer, which is going to go here, or the external one, which you can wire up there. So, looks good. Now let's do the DB9. This one is really easy. It just pops right into place. So we'll just snap it in. And you just want to be careful that you don't bend the pins. So just kind of look where you're going there. Turn it over. Looks like I'm okay. And this one you don't have to tape down because it snaps in. And you just solder this guy. These ones